Start recording, and Maryanne, hand it over to you, and Rich, if you want to do the introductions.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar on export services that are available to U.S. companies through the U.S. government, and I'm pleased to have Maryanne Burke with us today. She's the global team leader for the marine technology areas and senior international trade specialist, and we'll be discussing and providing an introduction for the portfolio of services that are available to companies that are interested in expanding their international sales and business opportunities. So with that, Maryanne, go ahead and kick it off, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to say today about your program.
Great. Thanks so much, Rich. Thanks for having me. Cheers, everyone from Boston. My name is Maryanne Burke of the U.S. Commercial Service. And as Rich mentioned, the Marine Technology Team Leader for the International Trade Administration. So I'm excited to learn more about your membership as you're a new organization, and I'll be introducing you today to our Marine Technology team and just kind of how we're set up and how we can help you with your international plans for expansion or finding partners overseas or whatever your needs may be. Basically, if you're a small or medium-sized business and you manufacture a product or provide a service, you're probably successfully selling here in the United States. But if you are interested in exporting, or maybe even received a foreign inquiry, or simply want to assess the viability of your product in a foreign market, that's where we can really help you leverage what you can offer based on what our contacts are overseas. But if you don't know how to go about selling internationally, you might have heard of some pro forma invoices or Incoterms. You might need to know if you need an export license, or whatever your case may be, or simply if you've been selling successfully overseas and you're trying to find new customers or partners in other markets. That's where we can really come in. So we're an agency under the U.S. Department of Commerce. It's the International Trade Administration. And then within that, our division is the U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service, which is known as the Commercial Service. And our organization is available to help U.S. manufacturing and service companies sell into foreign markets easier. So we operate a global network of offices located in over 70 countries. And basically, we operate the commercial section of the U.S. embassies and consulates abroad. And if you are looking for an office that isn't in one of those 70 countries, we then work with the State Department that will sometimes cover the commercial aspect. So with that overview, then our agency focuses on 16 key industry sectors, and that's where our team comes into play. And our marine technology team, which supports different trade shows with the help of our specialists in those countries. So for example, we're on the ground in country. We have access to foreign governments. We have locally employed staff that are dedicated to industry sectors, and in our case, the marine tech sector. So obviously, mostly in those coastal countries. And our mission is to promote the export of goods and services from the U.S., and particularly those of small and medium-sized businesses like your members. And so to help U.S. businesses, we find qualified partners. Our only requirements really are that the U.S. clients that we have, that 50% of your product is of U.S. origin. And basically, our goals are achieved when we help your company have an export sale or success in that market. So here, we're going to be supporting the Oceanology International Show in March in the UK, and leveraging our specialists in that country to provide a market briefing and overview about opportunities in that market, but also across Europe. So that we're getting very excited about that upcoming show. We also go to the Workboat Show, and then we go to DevSec in Canada. So there's several key events for our industry that we participate in, and hopefully, can see you at those events. I'll just skip down to another one, but basically, the marine industry, the marine tech industry has evolved, and how we've been able to capture it, and maybe we can revise some of this as things have, evolved even further, but we've identified 4 subsectors of marine technology because, as you know, it's so broad and encompasses so much. But the key subsectors that we've identified are the ocean technology, the blue tech that we're calling it lately. The second one is pleasure boats and accessories. A third one is ships and shipbuilding. And then a fourth one is port infrastructure and services. So it seems like your organization, covers for 3 of those. But we also work with some trade associations in the pleasure boating sector too. So, it kind of depends on what the focus is in each country as to which subsector they consider a priority. So here, we've identified some top markets for the blue tech sector as Australia, Canada, and Europe. We're seeing a lot of activity the last few years and currently. For ships and shipbuilding, again, Canada and Brazil have been up there, and for ports and infrastructure, we're seeing a lot of port investment from various countries right now, and I'll kind of get into that. I'll just go back a bit, but basically, we try to coordinate based on market research from our specialists in country. They identify and share with our team trade leads. So, for example, in Portugal, there's a big priority for port investment and some updating of port infrastructure. So we've sent that out to our team to send to their marine tech clients in their areas to consider putting in their bids to compete in those projects. So we basically try to gather some market intelligence, and then we disseminate some trade leads. Like here are a couple we did from Saudi Arabia. They were interested in some training programs. So we know of some schools around the U.S. that are leading in this realm, and so we provided them a few leads. And then there was one in Texas that seemed to fit what they were looking for. So then they made the trip to Texas to further investigate that as an option for what they were looking to bring back to Saudi Arabia. So things like that, they can be really across the board. And then another one I got last week was for dredging companies for a project in Malawi, and then also some port infrastructure development in Nigeria. So our people on the ground are just at the forefront of that through their government contacts, and they know what opportunities U.S. companies would be competitive at. So Australia, just to kind of delve into that a little bit, that has a growing defense budget, and ports are key to what they're looking at right now. And for any information on trade leads, we can connect you with our person in country to get more information about timeframes and next steps. So Portugal also, a lot of opportunity there that their government is really prioritizing. There isn't a tender projected for hopefully the next month or two, but we have been able to communicate that to some of our key clients, just say, hey, this will be upcoming. We don't have an official notice yet, but they are interested in U.S. companies. And you're probably well aware of all the Chinese investment and buying up a lot of ports throughout Europe and Asia that, that it's, there's maybe some pushback and some opportunities for U.S. companies to come in and compete instead of, the Chinese. So and then some other markets here. These leads are kind of from a UN report of some upcoming investments. And of course, the Nordic region is always very popular for this industry sector. So that's just, a bit of, what our team is able to do for you. And I can go into a little more detail if you haven't worked with us in the past. But basically, on our website, export.gov, you can try to, we have some available market research. And so you have free access to that. You can basically filter by country, industry, and type of report. We also have really valuable country commercial guides, which are an annual overview of doing business in a particular country, and that provides economic, political data, how to sell into the market. It identifies best industry practices and also business travel advice and finance options and, of course, trade barrier issues to be aware of. So then we do have some business matchmaking services that are fee-based. So that I can kind of just go into that a little bit. For example, if you're ready to travel to a country but you don't have any contacts there yet, under our Gold Key matching service, we can set up customized appointments with contacts in that country that we've identified from your profile. You'd fill out a questionnaire and you'd list what your objective would be, and then we would, who the key relevant players would be in that country to really put together a solid day's worth of appointments for you, or several days, depending on what your needs are. So that's called a Gold Key service. And our fees have recently gone up as mandated by Congress, but so something like that would have a fee of $950 for a small company. And then if you're not necessarily planning to travel, but you would like a customized list of interested parties or interested, possible partners from what you're looking to do in that country, then that would be an international partner search. And something like that would, again, the fees, I know that's gone up. But here I do have it. That's about $700, $750 for a small company. So, and most of your states would also have this program, a grant offset program called the STEP grant, which is State Trade Export Promotion Grant, which could cover some of these services. So you might want to look into that at the state level. But additionally, we also have, trade missions. I know our team is taking a group to Europe after the Oceanology show, and they're making stops in Portugal, Spain, and Italy, and France. So that'll be a nice event that we're working hard on. There's also single company promotions where you can showcase your product or service to an audience invited by the embassy at a breakfast or a reception. So there's various things, as I say, we try to customize it based on what your company does and what you're looking to do in that particular market. And our specialists are very frank about, offering you solid advice, so that if they see that, it may not be a good fit for your product right now, they'll be honest with you up front before you have to make that, initial investment. That's our goal, is really to assist you to make those sales overseas. And we've had, great success with some key companies around. I know one of our team members, they were able to help a buoy marine client enter the Indian market, for example. Also through through our services, we've got a lot of great feedback, and they've led to agreements that have been signed. I know recently with a local company here in Massachusetts that we helped coordinate a Gold Key service for them in the UK, and then they established key business relationships with multiple British companies and secured sales as part of that. So those are just generally what we are offering to do. And these are a few pictures of our team. On the left, that's one of the trade shows we have been at, and where we've provided counseling on the ground I know at Oceanology, that's what we're planning to do as well. We're going to have a booth at the show, so you can come by and you can talk to our specialists that we're trying to bring from across Europe. And then they'll sit down with you and we'll have a counseling session just talking about opportunities in their markets and the markets of interest to you. So, and then on the right, that was our team. We did a training at the Port of LA and Long Beach to really learn about the newest technologies related to green ports. And, so we really learn from the industry, from you guys, as to what, is important. And then, we convey that and, we try to meet your needs. So based on that. So with that, I'm excited to keep working with you, Rich, in the industry. And if you have any questions.
This is Kevin, actually. There were a couple questions that were sent in. One is in regards to insurance or financing. Do you provide any guidance or support for any insurance needs or financing that's required?
So we don't ourselves, unfortunately, no, but we work closely with the Small Business Administration that can refer you to a credit insurance agency. I know here in Boston and in key cities around the U.S., like I'm co-located with the export finance manager for New England, and he's in my office. John Joyce is his name. But we have, I want to say SBA has about 5 other export finance managers on a regional basis that serve their areas. So I can provide you a link to, how to find those individuals. But yeah, we work closely with them, but we wouldn't advise on financing ourselves.
Okay. The next question had to do with any inbound opportunities like foreign trade missions and where to learn about them. I'm not sure if you mentioned that or not.
So, the trade missions, we are right now working with a group that's going to Europe. We're having an upcoming trade mission to Italy, Portugal, Spain, and France. So, we did that last year too. So Europe was of interest to this particular group. So we've been able to pull the resources together to make that happen. And then I have been approached by, some of our design and construction team members as far as ports maybe in Africa. But right now, the trade missions are pretty limited. But we also work with reverse trade missions. Some foreign governments will work with us and through the U.S. TDA to come here to the U.S. and then to meet with marine tech specialists, especially in the port realm. I know they visited the Port of LA and Long Beach and the port of, I think it was Oakland. I think we had an Asian group come to the Port of Oakland, and then I know several visiting the Port of New York and New Jersey. But if there is sufficient interest and our posts overseas are willing to host the trade mission, we do that. But they're a big lift, so we would normally do them once a year or once every couple of years.
Okay. The last question has to do with getting a better understanding on export restrictions and where to find that information or guidance on that.
Yeah. So we have a great guy in DC, but again, we won't advise on BIS controls or export restrictions or regulations, but we do similarly work closely with BIS, and our team has hosted some webinars in the past when there were changes over from ITAR to the commerce regs. So on occasion we have offered that to marine tech companies, specific to its chapters 7 and 8, I want to say. But we have a marine tech guy down in Washington with BIS that we can introduce you to if you have specific questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Rich?
Well, that's really appreciated. It's good information. It's a lot that you guys do, and I'm hoping that our members can take advantage of the services.
Great. Well, thanks for this opportunity. Yeah, and I look forward to working with you and meeting your members. I'm up in New England, so especially any of your ones here, it'd be great for them to introduce themselves, and I'd love to sit down with them and talk one-on-one.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.